Would you mind telling me whose brain I did put in?
And you won't be angry?
I will not be angry.
Abby someone.
Abby someone. Abby who?
Abby normal.
This is the Abby Normal podcast, here to tell you that you're weird, and that's normal. I went to an awesome summer camp, you guys. You could jump onto a big air-filled pillow called the Blob, and it would launch you into the lake. You could roller skate in summer or ice skate in the winter. You could try to mount the giant floating log that spun in your hands in the water. I would listen to Nirvana on my Walkman at night in my bunk, and I would try not very successfully to put a tampon in for the first time. We would play Capture the Flag. There would be singing and a sermon at night, and I would walk in the forest and look up at the stars and think about how God made them and He made me. And there were cute boys. Annie, did you ever go to summer camp?
I sure did.
Can you please tell me about it?
Certainly. I went to Girl Scout camp every summer for a couple years. Before I got kicked out of Girl Scouts. The camp was called Elowen. I don't know where it was. Camp Elowen. It was somewhere in the mountains. I have no spatial concept of where that was. I suppose I could look it up. I think it was near like Dinky Creek, probably near the Shaver area. If those two things are close, I don't know.
I think they are.
Great. Went to camp every year. I loved it. I thought it was great.
What did you do there?
We had like weird camp activities, like, you know, candle making where you dip string in hot wax until you have a candle. Mm-hmm. We learned how to make butter, you know, like in a churn, or like they showed us the churn, but we didn't get to use that. We had to like do it in a jar and just shake it, and like your hands and wrists get really tired after a little while. I mean, but also makes me think they were teaching us something else.
I mean, you're like the fourth conversation I've had about summer camp, and I just want you to know no one else has mentioned butter making.
Really?
I know, it's shocking.
Shit, what did they learn?
Like archery and rappelling.
We definitely didn't learn rappelling. We may or may not have done archery. I don't remember. I definitely did that in junior high, like as part of our PE thing.
Good.
And I was really good at it.
I feel like you and I should go shoot some arrows.
100%.
I did look it up at one point, and I think that you can go and do it in Golden Gate Park, which seems super fun.
I am so down for that.
Okay.
It might be a good way to like expel some of the rage that I'm holding very tightly in my body.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, what else did you do?
I don't know. We went on like nature walks and shit.
Yeah, I like nature walks.
There was probably like some story time. I definitely remember like doing like the mess hall thing and like either helping set the table or helping pass out the food or helping clear the table, things like that.
Did you stay in a cabin with girls you already knew?
No, because not everybody from the troop went to camp.
Okay.
It was just...
You were mixed in.
Yeah, so there were randos. I don't really remember a lot of the other girls from camp. I didn't form any like lasting friendships. And I think they came from like all over the state. So...
Yeah, like my kid just got back from camp and she has new best friends. And probably part of it is that they exchange phone numbers and emails. So it's like super easy for them to like reconnect the next day and continue with their inside jokes that they established, you know? Like,
right.
When we went to camp, you would have to write a letter.
Right. I do remember writing letters.
Right, but that would last, you know, for like 1 month and then the person was gone forever, so.
Right. Also, I don't think I really wrote letters to those people afterwards. I think it was more like writing letters home to the friends that I had. And yeah, emails and personal phone numbers were not a thing. Yeah, I literally don't remember any names, have no faces in my brain. Yeah.
What other fun things did you do?
Yeah, I remember going on hikes. Yeah, there was like a heart attack hill that you had to walk up. And, there was this like old rope bridge that was really scary and probably not up to code.
Yeah, I did one of those like high, I don't know what they call it, but you have to like climb up a tree situation and then a high rope. It was like a tree course, you know, like a high ropes tree course thing. And I am totally afraid of heights and hated that and refused to like jump off the thing at the end.
But you have to jump off No.
You know, like with a harness or whatever, but no, I was not.
I don't remember that type of activity. That was about
Did you
it.
like it? Did you come back like stoked? Like, I want to go again?
Yes, I liked going to camp because I like trees and being outside in nature.
Mm-hmm.
It was like before I think bug repellent got really good though.
Oh, no.
And before I like really understood the need to apply sunscreen on my body every 20 minutes.
Oh.
So there were certain aspects of it obviously that I did not like.
Yeah.
Like being sunburned and being covered in mosquito bites,
Right.
which I am allergic to.
Right.
So they are more like welts.
Right.
So, yeah, I remember my mom like being like, just tie this dryer sheet in your belt loop and that'll keep the mosquitoes away. It didn't.
Wow. No, not
Yeah.
effective.
No, not effective at all.
No.
Now I know better. I reapply the sunscreen constantly.
Right.
And I basically based myself in Deet.
Yes.
And then I'm able to enjoy nature to the fullest.
Right. Let's hear some other summer camp memories. First up is my punk rock mom friend, Cindy G. Sitman. So when did you go to Korea camp?
Oh, Korea camp. I think that was between freshman and sophomore year. I don't remember.
Tell me everything about it.
I was there for, I think it was 2 weeks. And it took over a university just outside Seoul.
Is there a name of this? Do you know if it still exists, the program?
I could find out. I can't remember the name of it. I used to know, but if I heard it, I would know it, you know. But it was a small university, and it was these two dorms, and they were basically these two sort of towers. One side was the boys, and one side was the girls, and this little common area in between.
Had you been to Korea before?
I had been to Korea before with my parents, but it was very, it was just marketplaces and then like a tourist destination for our sake. You know, it was my mom wanting to shop and
Yeah.
you know, commerce of some sort. But I'd never had any experience. And I was a little kid. I was probably like 9 or something when that happened.
Yeah.
So being a teenager and put in this place with all of these teenagers, I mean, it had to be at least maybe 200 kids.
Wow.
Like it was big.
Yeah.
It was a big program. And it was just high school age kids. And they were from all over the world, everywhere. I can't think of a country that wasn't represented, but a ton of Canadians. So many Canadians. One of my boyfriends was from Canada. John Kim. I can say his name because there are so many John Kims.
But it was specifically for Korean
kids that did not grow up in Korea.
Got it.
And it was a cultural immersion program. And they did these big like taekwondo exhibitions, you know, in this huge hall, and everybody'd be sitting around. And there was a little bit of language, but most of the kids knew Korean. So that kind of sucked. There were really only 6 of us that didn't really speak Korean.
Mm-hmm.
And we were definitely, we were shamed.
Oh.
Yeah, it was really like, well, you know, you don't know Korean, so you don't even get to know what we're talking about. Like, too fucking bad.
Yeah.
Sorry. So it was me and those, they were Norwegian. Yeah, because one of the dudes was a total like Norwegian metalhead, like black metal guy. It was hilarious. And they were the only other Happas. It was me and them. Everyone else was full-blooded Korean, not mixed. And they were 2 brothers. And their English was definitely better than their Korean. So that was cool.
Yeah.
I learned about Norwegian black metal from the source. These kids, they don't know.
How does that come up? Like the I'm mixed versus full Korean conversation?
It doesn't have to come up. It's like when I was a kid, when it was less common, a lot of times you make that eye contact. Like, no, I recognize you. Mm-hmm. Especially in a room full of white people or in a room full of Asian people. Certainly Korean people. Like we stand out. You know, we look as white to them as we look Asian to white people.
Okay.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think not everybody was affected by it as much as I was. And I don't know, but there's definitely a camaraderie amongst people that are of mixed race, no matter what, not just Asian and white, or, you know, like, even I've had great conversations with people that are half black and half white. And, you know, I have a friend who's black and Japanese, and it's like it's interesting to see how the cultures are, and other people's perceptions of the cultures are affected by the mixture, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always found it interesting.
Yeah, my friend Brandy that came over last night is half Mexican, half Japanese. And she said, like, the two cultures are so different. She just felt pulled in two different
Couldn't
directions.
be more different.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the beauty of being mixed with white is, at this point, if you're American white, there isn't that much of a culture.
There is no white culture.
So,
American white culture does not exist.
Right. So it's really easy to just get sucked into the stronger sort of.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I have no cultural identity.
Right. I feel like even white people that are married to other white people that are Italian, everyone becomes Italian.
Oh, completely. Yes. Yes.
It's like, close enough. I'll take it.
Yep. Super into spaghetti.
Well, my German father-in-law shouts "A familia" before every meal.
The legend in my family is that we have some Native American heritage.
The legend.
The legend. Apparently, there's some family tree that shows some lovely Native American woman in there. And we clung to that so hard to have some kind of identity. And my mom did like the 23andMe thing. And she was like, I have bad news.
She was the nanny.
Yep. Just boring ass white bread. That's what that said.
Oh, that's so funny.
It's like wah wah.
I met this Native American actor one time who said that like his best pickup line is, "Are you part Cherokee?" Because like so many white girls would be like, "Oh my God, how can you tell?
You can see it. 32 generations ago, it's there."
So funny. He said it worked like a charm. Said it kind of worked on Carmen Electra.
I forgot Carmen Electra existed.
Well, he was on that episode of Baywatch with the Native Americans.
Oh, God.
That one episode. It was probably about pollution.
Right. Probably.
Terrible.
Terrible. Next is recovering lawyer Stephanie Leifer. So I know that you also have a summer camp that is very special in your heart.
Wow. Well, I mean, I, of course, went to the specialty camp, if that's what you want to call it, Jew camp, which, like, I didn't know was a thing, obviously, until I was a little older.
Until you were like, not everyone's Jewish, or?
Well, no, I mean, I knew not everyone. That's why I went to Jew camp, is because those are the only Jews I know. I grew up in Fresno, man. The only other Jew I knew was my brother. I think that's a bit of an exaggeration, but yeah.
What do you do there?
It was really, I imagine just like any other camp. I mean, like.
But you don't know.
There was, I don't know, but I do know. I mean, yeah, there was some like Jew stuff interspersed in, right? But like the gist of it, camp was real big on. Actually, ours they were really big. A lot of ultimate frisbee, which like back in the day, it wasn't a thing, right? So we played it a lot at camp.
So did Jews invent ultimate frisbee?
I don't think on the West Coast.
They may have.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Because like then when I went to college, I went to UC San Diego, and there was an ultimate frisbee team. I knew a ton of the people on the teams because like the star players were all the people that I knew from camp. Like, and this was like throughout because like we grew up playing it, and everyone else just started playing in college.
Wait, did we live in San Diego at the same time?
We may have.
I was there like 97 to 98.
Then yeah.
Oh my god.
Because I was there 97 to 01.
Oh, we could have been best friends.
Could have.
If we had known each other.
Yeah. If I had a car.
I had a car, and it was a little BMW, like a 2-seater BMW.
Nice.
That you would have to push start.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. So, BMW is with quotes because
So
the
like
connotation
like a
that it was
Flintstone
nice.
car?
Yes.
Like Fred Flintstone.
Did you guys go to Tijuana?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a thing.
yeah.
I think it's not that easy to get over there anymore now.
Well, we used to be able to just use your driver's license, which I
Right.
don't think you can do anymore.
yeah, and you could just like walk across and then stumble
And then you
drunkenly
get caught,
back.
yeah. And I swore after I turned 21 that I would never go back again, and I have not.
No. Okay, so back to camp. So
Back to camp.
what were the Jewy things that you did?
Jewy things that we did, well, like the before and after the meal prayers, right? And then every night before dinner, there'd be like a short prayer service. It was maybe like 20 minutes, but it was a lot of like singing. That's what I really liked about it because it was mostly singing. I mean, like our camp, it was a lot. It was really like music and art camp. And it wasn't until I was older that like one of the reasons that it was so chill and like so music-y and arty and whatever was not just because it was in the Santa Cruz Mountains, but because all of our counselors were high. It wasn't until we were older we were like, oh, now like things started making sense of like,
Right.
you know, things that we did at camp and like, you know, some of the weird, I can't even think of any like specifics right now, but like some of the like funny camp traditions made a lot more sense when you realize your counselors were high.
Right, true. I don't know if my camp counselors were high, but there was definitely so much silliness, and that's what was really fun about it. And lots of singing. Singing was like my favorite part of camp.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have lifelong friends from your camp.
Yes.
So
yeah,
how
no, I
did
do.
that come about?
Well, part of it I think was not. It was a mixture of camp, but also like Jewish youth group stuff. Like each of our local synagogues were kind of like networked in. There's this whole organization of Reform Judaism. It's actually now called the Union of Reform Judaism, the URJ, and it's a network of all of the Reform synagogues through North America. So, you know, that they're, and then each youth group then is also networked. So we had not only like my local group, which wasn't a ton of kids, but was way more fun, was our regional area. So it's kids, like a lot of kids from San Francisco area, from Sacramento. And so we would get together for a couple weekends a year. And then there was a smaller group of us that were like, you know, we were like, you know, organized the events and stuff like that. So we went to camp together during the summer, and then we would also see each other during the year.
So what other events during the year did you do?
Oh, during the year there were like weekend things. So like, and it was almost like mini summer camp condensed into a couple of days, but only with high school kids. So it was super fun. And like it was the high school kids that were like running the show, so planning all the activities and doing all the things. So it was really it was fun. One or two of the weekends throughout the year would actually be at the summer camp.
Oh, okay.
And then other times it would be like, you know, in Fresno, a bunch of kids would come to Fresno, and one of the nights we would all split up and go to different people's houses. So like 8 or 9 kids would come over to my house and all spend the night one night, and then the next night we would all just crash at the synagogue, like at the temple and like the social hall, and have like a big slumber party. I'm guessing that they don't do that anymore. Because it was boys and girls sleeping together. Like,
Yeah, we had
big
those
rooms,
at my church, and we called them lock-ins.
Lock-ins.
Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of, exactly that. I think that's what we would probably call them that too. But yeah.
Did you have any summer camp romances?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's what it was about. So, okay. In youth group stuff in high school, a friend and I, and this was not an original idea, I'm sure others did this, but we created this point system
Oh, no.
where you got points depending on like different people that you hooked up with.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
This is one of those summer camp movies.
Yeah, no, and it was like a thing, and we like went to this one like nationwide event. We took stickers. Tons of people had stickers on the back of their name tag with their point value.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and it was like this thing, and everybody was like, you know, it was a joke. No
Yeah,
one was
yeah.
actually doing it, you know, like counting point totals.
Right.
I
But
mean,
they
maybe
were
people
still
were,
hooking up.
But oh yeah, that's why we were all there. And we kind of justified. We're like, everyone's parents are fine with it. They want us all to make Jewish babies anyway.
Right,
So like,
yeah.
right.
It's condoned.
They're fine. Yeah. I mean, at least we justified it. We're like, no one has a problem with it.
Yeah. But you didn't actually talk to your parents and confirm that.
I know. I don't. I just, I knew. I know how. I don't know.
So many of those people I feel like are lifelong friends.
Oh, totally.
So what do you think made those bonds so strong?
Well, then some of us also went to college together. This morning I was texting with a friend of mine who lives in Sacramento, and she and her family are coming to San Francisco for the weekend. Yeah, so she and we did youth group stuff together in high school, and she grew up in Sacramento, and then we were roommates in college, because then we go to college, and we were all in California anyway, so most of us ended up at California schools, and then you had friends already. You weren't there alone, so there was that. But then after college, a bunch of people in the same network all moved to DC and sort of lived in the same area.
Oh.
And stayed friends that way. And we all just kind of stayed friends. And a lot of people in the group got married.
Married each other.
Married each other.
Yeah. How many couples do you know got married from camp?
Let's see. I mean, at least 4 that I can just count very quickly.
Yeah.
Of people that I've seen in the last couple of months.
Wait, so is your first marriage from
At my
Jewish
first
camp?
marriage, yeah.
Oh
With
my
somebody that I
gosh.
met at camp when I was 16.
Oh. And then so did you guys start dating at camp, or it wasn't until
No,
after?
it wasn't until after college that we started dating, but we started hanging out because we knew each other from before.
How did Jews feel about divorce? I guess I should say
Same as anyone else.
Yeah?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I guess you can't generalize all Jews.
when
so
you're
I'm just
talking
saying,
super traditionally,
yeah,
I
these
don't know,
Santa
but
Cruz Jews, how do they look upon divorce?
oh yeah, just like anybody else. Oh well, better luck next time.
Yeah. That kind of sucks, but
Yeah.
let's move on.
Yeah, I mean, that's too bad. I mean, it's a tragedy, right? It's like anything else. It's too bad, but it's not like no one.
Well, there's no
one
hell,
shunned,
right?
Yeah, no. Jews
Okay,
don't
so
believe in
that
hell.
helps. Yeah, because Christians are like, well, going to hell for that. So.
Yeah, but also I don't think that that's something in Judaism, the idea, this heaven hell kind of idea, or what happens to you. It's about the kind of person that you are. It's not things like that happen to you, right? It's are you a good person? Do you share your things? Getting divorced doesn't have any bearing on who you are as a person,
Oh,
right?
that's a far superior attitude than than what I grew up with.
I mean, I have to tell you, my idea of how Christianity handles good and bad is probably a little skewed. It's from watching these crazy evangelical style movies that were on late at night in Fresno that my brother and I would watch. I remember watching these movies of people who were terrible people, but as long as they accepted Jesus right before they died, everything was cool.
Right,
and which we
right.
thought was effing crazy.
Right.
We're really? This is this religion is teaching people that it's fine.
Right.
You can be a dick just as long as you ask that just was a totally foreign thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Anyway.
into a good redemption story, but
Right.
let's do it before our
Right?
deathbed.
Be nice to each other. Go ahead and make out all you want. Just be nice to each other.
I mean, I can tell you from reading all these notes of 12-year-olds, God made us to make out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is a primary spiritual and physical driver.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Checks out.
We all religions can agree on that, right?
Yeah, I think, as far as I know.
Corey Parker says that her travels as an early teen were not to camp, but to conferences. And she has agreed to share the notes that she wrote during these academic adventures. What is it called?
Model UN.
You have to tell me about Model UN camp.
So, Model UN, we're pretending we are the Model United Nations. And so we would have things at school, we talk about it, we would go to conferences, and we'd have to prepare, and we'd pick a country prior to, and we'd have to figure out what their stance was about whatever we were going to do. So if it was the World Health Organization, they'd give us a problem to solve, and then we'd have to come to a resolution about it, supposedly. Most of the time we'd write dumb notes.
Clearly you did.
Clearly.
What do you think about the United Nations now?
I am very hopeful in them. I put a lot of trust in them that they are governing this giant ball we stand on.
Do you remember why you picked South Africa?
Because I thought, no. I also really, the other country I liked picking was Estonia.
Oh, yeah.
I had a friend from Estonia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea where Estonia is located?
Near Russia.
Near Russia.
In the,
Okay.
that general.
Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
that bit of information.
And hand gesture. So I can tell that some of this is from, and it's stapled. Ooh.
Ooh, why the staple?
Because I think that these are all from Model UN. And so when you needed to talk to another country, you would pass a note. South Africa, that is stupid. Tell him you had a flash. Me. Well, if you love him a lot, then stop loving Jason.
It's good advice.
To Corey. Hi,
I,
it's
Sarah.
I, Sarah. I think you should tell him that you told him about it, even though nothing happened, because you wanted to be honest with him. See if that works. Sarah. Who? Corey, so basically, what is going on with you and you know who?
Elizabeth.
Hungry.
Again.
Hungry. So
do
clearly.
you know who Jason is? Do you have any
Yes,
idea what
I
they're
do.
talking about?
Yes, I do.
Did you have a boy you hooked up with at Model UN?
Let's keep going and find out.
I'm so excited.
So let's see. Corey, I got up to talk once, so did Elizabeth. It's been kind of boring, though, because we keep debating about the same stuff. WB, Sarah Hungry. Whoo, don't forget about me, Elizabeth. So I'm pretty sure this was also in Berkeley, because we would go out of town on trips. I told you to dump him already, Elizabeth. What are you guys doing in Polsek? Oh, so here's the other thing about this. I'm pretty sure we are making other people take notes to other rooms for us.
Whoa.
Because I'm pretty sure they're in a different. WHO is the World Health Organization. And I was in Polsek, which I don't remember what that stands for. Corey, we have something of value to you. How badly do you want it? We are hungry. Love chili. One more.
Okay.
Dump the idiot.
We are a lucky bunch of kids who had the privilege to explore nature, other countries, and even our own spirituality. These experiences at camp expanded our capacity to understand and potentially solve the world's problems. Except maybe butter making. Though when our food systems crash and the apocalypse begins, Annie will be the first person I call. Because butter makes everything better.